Sharing the wealth. Varshan wishes to discuss the distribution of the treasure. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups will benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the Satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. Okay, I can do that. Shosov, you are to visit Akyali and Yidlamald. I forget how to pronounce that one. It's like, Yidlamald? Or Yidlamald. Speak with Matsya and his people and listen to their grievances. Justinian, I bid you to do the same at Palikastan. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant's Called grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at Megaduta. Okay, cute. I don't mind these kind of quests, just talking to NPCs and stuff. It's lore and learning about them and immersion and stuff. I know not everybody likes them, but I like it. I'm still blown away at how much the dude looked like Golbez, especially with all the Final Fantasy IV stuff with Endwalker. What's up, Matsya? My whole throat. What the fuck? Sorry. Oh, Shosov. I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat then? Anything the village desperately needs. Well, I suppose Kalazal's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. Well, for now, we're just banding together as best we can. Oh, Matsya. Greetings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Thavnair, then you must try my special Amra Lassi. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil. But for you, I am willing to go as low as even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. At that price, you're the only thief around here. I am not a Stydian. Stealing? At that price, you're the only thief around here. You call him out. You're the one who was with the spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we're still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices. I tell you, if I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. Oh, he's not doing it to be a dick, you know? It's kind of seemed like it in Endwalker, but still. Are you okay? How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger has passed, certainly. But no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add that to the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kalzal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done, God's rest his soul. You've spoken with key figures and understand. Rush on waiting and Megaduta. Okay. My advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least. And there are few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palikastan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they persevered with some assistance from Yidlamald. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs, for the most part. Palikastan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader, but such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thavnair has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Akyali and Idamod? Actually, things aren't going great for them. They're struggling to sell, actually. I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors and Idamod. Yawning. I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over. So many lives lost. And it's probably that one kid, right? Ha ha! That or, you know, we're just gonna help him. But it'd be cute if he joined the Radiant Host and like grew up and was like a soldier. And well, I'm not saying like join the army, but still. Enough grief to drown him if we let ourselves be overcome. But we will not, Shosov, Estinian. I will consider the perspectives you've brought me and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. Is this going to be a voice cutscene? It had to load. Oh, I want to hear him. Let's go. I love his voice. Apparently it's Gosetsu, as I mentioned earlier from the comments letting me know, and he sounds great.
I thank you for your attendance.
God damn, it sounds great.
The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
I mean, like, I gotta bring up this one, right? Shire's orphanage was funded through blah, 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 blah. My brain melted. You read it. It was there. Yeah, for the custom deliveries and stuff.
We can draw on trading profits to build a new institution.
That reminds me, are we able to deliver to Alvado's mom now? think that was this patch. I forget.
Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of our Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
That's cute. Something with Calzal seems appropriate.
A fitting candidate.
Both answers were cute.
Calzal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Calzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Mirad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Calzal Foundation.
That's great.
Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
I love VRTRA. Such a good boy!
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
Agreed. That's that good shit. How close are we to the end of this? I don't remember how many quests they said there were, and I don't remember how many I've done. Sure. Take food. I don't need the money. Granted, I just spent a buttload of money, so I don't have as much skill as I used to, but my FC chat was blowing up, and I don't want to know why. Bridging the Rift. The veteran Radiant wishes to share his gratitude. Thank you for putting forth Calzal's name. Those whose lives he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon SHTOLA. She asked that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood. Thank you. SHTOLA must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I will go with you. I thought the Satra would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Awan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. And I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. Voiced cutscene already? Again? There's been a lot of voice.
Here we all are.
voice cutscenes for a.
You discovered something new.
To be fair, Endwalker had a lot of voice cutscenes. Maybe that's just
I took
part
a
of the
closer
budget.
look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the void gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by VRTRA'S alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first.
I drop in frames?
You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many voids sent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
It might just be like on the previews end of OBS. Just like I keep seeing like weird. There's some like occasional micro stuttering. I'm very sorry if it's showing up in recording, but because it's not the game. I'm talking about OBS specifically.
To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact.
Seems okay. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain Exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Sorry, I'm just examining OBS. Seems okay. I think whatever I'm seeing is just on like my computer's end. Like it's just like a
Never mind
preview
that
thing.
means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive, and I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th, and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
So much for taking it easy. Count me in.
I had a feeling you might say that. Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands.
It's gonna be like a solo duty, actually.
That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single Voidsent will be allowed to threaten Radzatan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daemir was overseeing the project.
Daemir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a Voidsent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made Voidsent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made Voidsent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daemir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
Restricted section of the Numenon, with Raha's favorite place to sneak around. Ah, Diane. with the restricted section of Numenon?
Yes, it may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlian.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves, yourself being of little use, go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
If we're to enter Numenon's restricted archives with a minimum of first, then we must secure the permission of the Forum. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? Hell? What's that weird flickering? That was like on the TV. It's like the lighting is like being weird. No one springs to mind. What of Scholark Montagane? He did come to Graha's defense during the inquiry after all. That's a good idea. 'Tis settled. Let us head to Phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. SHTOLA is accompanying you. Cool. They did update this though, and you guys can teleport around now, which is great. I will walk in case there's any neat dialogue. Well, the unique dialogue was right in front of the damn thing. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7 and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. Never had the chance to attend the studium. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after Master Louis Swat took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. I sometimes wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Tea at the last stand after a day of lectures. Should I wonder as well? Tea at the last stand after a day of lectures? Teacher SHTOLA? Teacher SHTOLA? Yeesh teacher? Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends spent sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Matoya for the world. The dark cave I studied in was about as far from the bright, airy halls of academia as one could get, but it was a wondrous, magical childhood nonetheless. Cute! Do you have anything else to say? If I was pressed to name our allies in the Forum, Scholar Montagane would certainly be at the top of the list. Hopefully he agrees to aid us with our request. Oh, visitors, and quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Scholark, but we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numenon's restricted archives. Oh, no future forays into the stacks this time, eh? I applaud this newfound sense of propriety. Yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? Well, you see, void sense do. Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Demir has lain dormant in Charlian's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. That is, in fact, precisely what we intend. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, for one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future. Yet I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two? I'm dying, or two, if a grand revelation was the promised reward. Marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the whys and the wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request to the forum's consideration. Oh, thank you. Although your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance, is it? Alphina's dad. Falchino. Why, Master Falchino, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Falchino on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well. We will pay a visit to the Levier estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I'd wager. So if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity... Of course, Skolak. We will be sure to pass on any revelations. Cute. It's adorable. Love it! Ah, Master Showsolve, Master SHTOLA. How may I be of service? We've come to speak with Master Falchino. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the Master is in residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Well, well. Emilians would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of import to discuss. Then pray, proceed. You have my full attention. Explaining things to an NPC. Oh god, I get hit by the tire. Holy crap. I got like too much sleep. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Skolak Montague expressed much the same sentiment, I assure you. Will not attempt to circumvent the form's authority again. Unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister. She was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing of his heart. It is no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experience in the first should constitute a fair exchange in our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldesian Annex. Baldesian? I forget if it's Baldesian or Baldesian. I think it's Baldesian. Anyway, to the Annex! So, what did the forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Matoya has burned some bridges here in Charlian, and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded in no uncertain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. That's wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I am sure you are aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavor, and bid you good day. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising, aye. But that very stoicism is exactly what Shalia needed to guide it through not one but two exoduses. I finally remembered to fix the necklace, by the way. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes, and now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be on finding House Demir's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. That's cute. I'd like to set out as soon as you're ready. I talked to the wrong person. Restricted reading. Montagane is waiting to offer you further instructions. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume. You presume correctly. Then you'll want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. Oh, it was my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. Shall we? SHTOLA is accompanying you. Great fun. Alright, where am I going? To think the set of instructions I laughingly imagined may actually exist, but yalms away from where you found me napping. If I had known of Al-Zadal III's exploits sooner, I could well have saved myself days of research. Even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs be flexible of mind and look beyond conventional wisdom. A lesson I had already learned, but clearly not taken to heart. Cute. Love it. I love getting spent time with SHTOLA. Really, though, SHTOLA and Alpha are my absolute favorites. I think Oriange is and Graha are my seconds. I love them. Archon SHTOLA and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed into the research archives? Follow me if you would watch your step, and please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged. I feel like that went over my head a little bit. I don't remember what the hell they were talking about. I don't like those bookshelves. They look cool, but they hurts my brain. It's gonna be an instanced area, or is this just a voice cutscene? Music's great.
If House Demir's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
We're gonna need a montage. Oh no, you're gonna make me click individual books? No! Okay, sure. Untitled Journal. Today, in a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, eyes blazing not with hunger, but trembling like a candle's flame, threatening to flicker out at any moment. I wonder if she is even the proper word. Such distinctions seem inconsequential, insignificant even. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite, transcendent being. You were tempted to read more. This does not seem to be the volume we were seeking. Was that a spicy book about demon bitches? The following pages detail an advanced method for manipulating rift-spanning apertures as devised by Nuhashan, the 9th Patriarch of House Demir. I think I found it. Well, I mean, I must have. We present these research notes to the faculty of Sharlayan Studium as both a token of our friendship and an expression of our boundless admiration. You appear to have located the forbidden volume you seek. SHTOLA will need to make the final confirmation. Have something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies, I flipped open but a single book and was completely absorbed by the contents. Yeah, here's this. This is what you're looking for, I presume. Well done, Shosov. I think you may have found our prize. Canon, it took 5 hours of just skimming random books. Which is probably actually accurate. Oh, what a neat looking book.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Damia's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about. Among the ranks of the Voidsent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard.
This art's really cool.
From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures. A talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings reveal that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos.
Neat.
How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Voidsent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales. And still, House Damia went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive. It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves?
Just the way her voice actor said it was great.
But that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
Cool. I think that's the Google Library theme playing now, right? Maybe it was earlier too, but I mostly recognize that part. As much as I would have loved to start crafting the Atomos, I'm afraid this is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Harnish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Demia project. Yeah, I forget her name, but the other elephant lady. Our business here is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the forum. Your message will be conveyed should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature. Oh, my brain melted. I will be here. Patron mode disabled, security mode engaged. If anyone can help us, Nidana can. I say we return to Thavnair and look for her at the Great Work. Alright. Neat. I'm so, dude, like, I wish I wasn't so tired, but, like, I'm really excited about the direction of this story, man. SHTOLA tells me you are pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you want me to be a part of it. Yeah, you're right. I've no doubt you'll be interested. This research log should speak for itself. will it now? Why, the sisters! This is the mark of House Demir. I never even knew such a work existed. Few should. It was sequestered in Numenon's restricted archives, after all. It was? But that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand? I can hardly wait to read it. Yes, my people. Yes, seekers of knowledge. Feels good. I love it. Makes me super happy. To think that Demir were developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder? Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you to helping us build a new mock Atomos? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on the Demir project that had even the redoubtable scholars of Salian trembling in their sandals. No alchemist of the great work could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. Hey, it's like when she said that to us in like 5.2, 3? It was 5.1 or 2, I forget. Oh, I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big mouth simulacrum once we've built it? Funny you should ask. Jump into it! So there's a secret void gate, and it is sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty. Today is a day of revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we finish gathering the components I require. You require what exactly? Sharlian's markets provided the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need to go no further than the Font of Maya. The, ascetics, my brain, I couldn't read it. I'm assuming that's ascetics. Of old, once favored, the place for their meditations, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of ether. That sounds perfect. And if you would be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition VRTRA to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it, then? We meet back here anon. Yeah, okay. Count on me. Here are the people. Side quest man. Damn, PTSD, baby, dead mother. I'm kind of glad there was not a reference. Do you have that flask for me? Here you go. Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Chelsov. I guess out of these, spell speed. Alright, this might be the last one? I don't know, because Newfound Adventure was the name of the start, and usually it used to be like the ending one, right? So I don't know if it's going to say it again. The SHTOLA is eager to depart for the vault. Look who I came across. Estinian seemed in need of diversion, and we, in turn, may have need of his lance. Right then. Now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Matsu's boat again? Not this time. Or, I thought that was SHTOLA for a second. Not this time. Once SHTOLA informed me of our destination, I had arranged for a vessel to be made ready for Akyali. Your Excellency is over the gracious host. Shall we? Is ever the gracious host. Alright, let's do this. The ship is yours to command. Our thanks. We set sail at once. Oh, this is so exciting. Al-Zadal's legacy. To see the truth of a legend with mine own eyes. All aboard the treasure vault. Alright. Something big is gonna happen. Probably. Maybe. Voiced cutscene. I mean, it was obvious.
The ruins alone were impressive enough. But I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it you're doing now?
There's something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Gra has theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
I kind of almost want to do this one. This one is so funny. I want to. I have to. Normally, these are too funny sometimes.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Surely you'd not expect me to wriggle through that tiny portal.
Why are you looking at me like that? See, it made her laugh too. That's great.
We needn't attempt anything so drastic. A small familiar should serve well enough. Now,
Are you gonna
a
summon a
lowly
proxy?
imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born.
The music. What is this Sailor Moon stuff? What?
Water, water, froth and foam!
That was so cute. Is it the drippy thing, actually? From the one Shadowbringers post-dungeon, Matoya's
Your arms.
relic or whatever?
I fear she's been possessed.
That
Oh, that was adorable.
was! It was so cute! I am elated, and I cannot wait for Renee to see this. Does she have to talk like a kid?
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual.
That's incredibly cute, dude.
In any case, these two should serve as well.
That is so... I'm very
This
happy
one
right now.
will bear a warding scale.
Shove it right in there.
And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nadana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
Not even have to think about it. Froth and foam.
Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know.
Oh, no, I just, look, I thought it was funny.
Begin, shall we?
It was very cute. I'm super happy. OBS, do you just look weird in the distance sometimes? I feel like I'm like just far enough back like this, it almost looks like it's not running at 60, but then when I get closer, it looks like it's running at 60. But again, it's just making me paranoid because of what happened that one time during the Endwalker video. That's very cute. I am in love. Okay, seems fine. Oh, hell yeah, this song is great. So, one of them's gonna come back hella fucked up, right? Like, well, we're gonna have to do a solo instance, it sounds like. Keyword sounds like. Might not be. Bum bum ba-dum bum. God, dude, the new music's been great too. Like, at least I think that one was also new, but I'm like, the dungeon theme was really good. She's just so excited.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
Poor baby.
Thank you, little one. You did well.
Oh, the poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
We're out of time. I must reseal the void gate.
They're coming through!
In the name of Alzadal III, I bar this door unto the void.
Spooky. Yeah, the Final Fantasy XIV dev team and the writers do sure like their fucking spoops, man.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent.
Poor baby.
The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation.
So it's like a limited protection. Eventually it itself will break, probably.
It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently.
Like, can maybe work on that.
we may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used the stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. It was Elidibus, as I recall, who rescued Unakalhai's spirit from his final battlefield. But I wonder if there were others whom the emissary saved from oblivion.
I don't know if there's supposed to be more dialogue here. I did that quest. Maybe I like forgot to do the very last one because this feels like there should be something else. But yeah, Ciela, I believe. Ardbert's companion, the elven swordswoman. Yeah, I did this quest line. I'm pretty sure I finished it.
The adventurer who traveled with the
Or
warriors
Silva.
of light. And you say she was another of Elidibus's pawns.
I'm gonna be really upset if I like forgot to do the very last quest of this, but I'm pretty sure I did them all. Because I literally was talking about it earlier, about remembering this stuff from the role, well, the like having done all role quest thing in Shadowbringers, but I might have forgot to pick up the last one. That dialogue might not even pop up though. You'd have to literally do that, I think,
So
right?
Ciela, or rather Silva,
Yeah,
was
Ciela.
beguiled by the same dreams of heroism as Unakalhai.
That's what I mean. Like, that dialogue might not have even happened unless you do the quest line, actually. So I think I did it all. Again, if I missed one quest, I swear to God.
Experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition?
Oh, I just realized it's playing the raid theme. I like just distracted.
I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great VRTRA. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way.
I'm so down. I'm so down.
But first I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives?
You're gonna be like,
Your
no.
Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
He's either having second thoughts or he's thinking about his sister. Nassinian knows. He's like, oh, something's going on. Something's going on. A satrap's duty. SHTOLA ponders the next stage of your preparations to enter the void. How long is this patch, man? This is pretty long. Once Nidana succeeds in replicating the Mach Atomos, this door into the 13th shall be ours to open. Will you be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realize this is more my endeavor than yours. To be honest, I have no interest in visiting the void myself. Might we discuss this later? There's something I must do first. Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least had good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. Shall we proceed with our other preparations then? As we saw, the warding scale can be effective at protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved if it is to withstand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. And I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemists who created it. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation? I don't know Garland Ironworks. I think. An excellent suggestion. As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the void and its volatile energies. With his experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding scale. Come, let us visit their operation in Rauga's region, commission their best and brightest. So, Big's Wedge. Maybe probably said two, but still. Shosoff, what brings you to the Ironworks? We have a commission for you and your president, actually, assuming he's available. Master Sid? Certainly. I'll see if he has a moment free. Lamp Fanatic? I just noticed that person's name. A pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. Heading into the void to find a lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to your last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after Meteon on that bloody mess. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation. Yeah, here. Seems some manner of corrosion has set in around a scratch on its surface, such as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds. In which case our best bet may be to simply prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. And how might we achieve that? We have a coating agent for strengthening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. For safer to dress it in armor, or far safer. In armor? We'll construct a protective casing, one utilizing metal alloys with high ethereal conductivity, so as not to impede the talisman's primary function. A suit of armor, as you said. Nero has compiled data on the 13th, so I'll have him pitch in with the design just to be sure. If only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to follow our safety protocols. I swear I've never had such a reckless employee. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. Ha! The hard part will be ducking Jessie and her constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. I think we can leave the rest in Sid's capable hands. Let's return to the great work and see how Nidana is getting on with the Mach Atomos. Okay. That was a weird, walk, SHTOLA. What was that about?
Ah, SHTOLA. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
'Tis a lengthy process, But the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Alzadal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components, and I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial Atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Sir Estinian told us of your predicament.
Stinian.
For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet...
Now you listen to me, Varshan. You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
It's very sweet. It's super sweet.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again too.
Fucking pork. I don't know if you guys will hear it or not, but damn. to protect them well, you must take heart.
Take heart and protect them well.
Because I threw it back at him.
Such were the words I once said to you. And here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Radzatan. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavnir for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
Very sweet and very cute. You surprise me, Estinian. For a lone wolf, you've shown an unusual degree of, shall we say, involvement in helping VRTRA reach this conclusion. 'Twas for the greater good. The worm's thundering sighs were keeping his citizens awake at night, and a traveler's believing the palace racked by some unnatural storm. What of your own answer, then? You seem disinclined to venture into the void. When I was one with Needhog, his vengeful thoughts were my thoughts. His endless rage, my rage. And the soul-chilling grief he nursed, or Ratatosko's death. I would not wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. If there is a chance we can spare VRTRA that pain, then I will follow you. An unusual crew we have here. Indeed, but perfect for our purpose. I should think I'd rather not bother the Scions with aught less than a dire threat to the star. Now, on to specifics. Unlike the first, where the flood of light was halted before its devastation was complete, the 13th has been utterly subsumed by darkness. My plan as such is to explore the void in stages, withdrawing to safety after each brief foray. It would be more convenient had we some manner of base camp near to the gate itself. One of the palace chambers should serve. Come, let us reconvene outside Megaduta. And so we will require suitable accommodations. Might we make something available for our guests? All the chambers are presently hosting the great mounds of treasure we carried out of the vault. Once the Foundation's activities begin in earnest, however, we can redistribute the trove and make a room or two ready for habitation. Good. Please inform me when you've completed the arrangements. As you heard, we will have you settled in Megaduta in due time. As ever, you are most gracious, Your Excellency. You risk yourselves to aid me in my search for Azdaya. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only wish we knew more about our destination. The gods only know how long our exploration might possibly take, or what our chances of success might possibly be. Succeed or fail, I am grateful to you for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I will return to the great work and lend what help I can to Nidana. If you've preparations to make ere we venture into the 13th, now is the time. We're gonna, do that now, right? This is gonna be 6.2. All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I'll train with the Radiant Host to pass the time before we depart. There's no way we're, literally about to do it. You know what this means to me, Shosov, but my purpose need not consume you as well. We are headed to another world. Find what joy you can in the experience. For you are a traveler, an adventurer at heart. This I know. There can't be another quest. This has to be like the drop-off for 6.2, right? Like, I've just been recording for fucking almost 4 hours. Where's my, my crit? Oh, those were 9s, not 10s, huh? Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom. Yeah. Okay, so this is like the end of 6.1, I think. Are we gonna hear not Golbez? See, I'm curious if the thing we saw before, the thing we're probably gonna see again now, is his sister and what's left of her or what she's become. But I don't know, it could be another antagonist altogether. That's not just her, I mean. Well, here it is again. You gonna see more of what it looks like? I feel like there'd be a reason it was hiding it. No way. Is this the void scent that Xenos had?
And thus I am returned. To this world, bereft of saviors.
I don't think it's the one that Xenos had, but I don't know. It might be. You guys know if there's like actual lore on what this is already, let me know. Let paths unwalked. Adventure spur. Pulses quicken, spirits stir. Damn. Cool. That I think because he's saying they've returned and stuff, and that makes me wonder if after Xenos died, because we have to relinquish the pact with the, and it almost looked like Xenos's face is the weirder part, but it's hard to tell because Xenos has hair and Garly and I, and that didn't. So I don't know if, but I don't know. We do see the void scent in that one cutscene for a moment, but like not very well. But I think I remember it having the hands over its face, right? Well, anyway, that's it, man. That was great. I'm really excited. This is a great update. There's a lot of good stuff they did too. I can't wait to try out the 24-man raids. If you guys have already done that, let me know what you guys think down below. Hope you guys are staying safe with everything going on. I gotta fucking stop this recording right now. It's too long. Love you all. Hope your dreams come true, and I will see you guys next time. So, peace out, everyone.